Wow, that just warmed my soul like a hot cup of soup.
Oh, thank you. That warmed my soul like a Squirt-A-Shirt, which you can buy at squirtashirt.com. Squirtashirt.com. Thank you, Tim, for writing in on our chat and letting us know that anybody that would like to buy these really fun tie-dye shirts that we're making in the village or other mugs and merchandise of that sort, you can go to squirtashirt.com. Also, speaking of Tim's, I would love to thank Tim Miller, or I like to pronounce his name Mueller because that's how it looks, M-U-E-L-L-E-R. Thank you for all the hard work you've done. And thanks again to everybody out there listening.
And everyone who's writing in the chat, there's so much positive feedback in there. We really appreciate it. We do read them. In fact, keep writing and we might shout you out.
Hey, we also found out that there is a longer version of the plant walk online. And so if you would like to see that or any of the other workshops, you can go to communityvillageocf.org/CV2020 workshops. That's a mouthful. Let me do it one more time. communityvillageocf.org/CV2020 workshops for the longer version of the plant walk. Thanks for people writing in and letting us know that in the chat as well. It's really an important thing being able to have this sort of open communication with all of you. One, it's really fun. And two, just we're delighted to be able to be here and for everybody to have a platform for their important messages and for all of our voices to be heard.
And this is an especially important time. I'm sure we all feel it and understand it. I think a lot of things are happening that have been a long time coming or have been happening for a long time and are maybe now just starting to get the recognition that they need. We just finished Gay Pride Month and Juneteenth was pretty recently. And on that note,
I've written a little poem that I would like to share with all of you. I was going to stand, but then you wouldn't see me. A walk down the street means so much more when it's in the street, with hundreds, even thousands of others, banners aloft, peace raised in the air, masks hide chants, plus calls and responses. Daylight lingers, but dark and light melt, like crayons in a box on the hottest of days. That's when the witching hour comes. When suns set, when fists rise, and a new day seems possible, perhaps inevitable, yet so far away. Thank you. And so for people being able to march and protest, have their voices heard, community radio is a very big part of that. So thank you again to KOCF for that. And a big shout out to KBOO in Portland, which Lulu and I occasionally do work for as well. So thanks to all of you out there listening to the radio and promoting freedom of speech and doing what needs to be done. And that might look different for everybody. Some people can get out and march, and for other people, it might not make sense. But you have dollars and you can contribute them. You can go to work and you can talk to people there. When you hear stuff that doesn't sound right, when you hear stuff that makes you uncomfortable, say something. Because, as we are going to find later in John Elliott's song, it gets bad, but it gets better. And that's how change is going to happen.
Also, if anyone would like, I've been doing a lot of anti-racist reading. That's how I've been, contributing aside from protests. There's an amazing book called The New Jim Crow. Another great one called How to Be an Anti-Racist. And then there's it's like a 28-day workshop kind of thing where you read a section and then do some journaling, and that's called White Supremacy and Me, and it's talking about how we all live in a white supremacist society, and if you have white privilege, like how to navigate that and how to do that.
Also, So You Want to Talk About Race, which is a wonderful one, regardless of what race or background you are. If you present white, you have privilege. And there's lots of instructional stuff so that we don't always have to be taxing all of our people of color and asking them to educate. everyone can be educating themselves.
Yeah, this is it's a very full issue. It is not at all a singular issue. We talk about intersectionality. Oh my God.
Interdisciplinary as
the
well.
program is getting in my head. Intersectionality within the Black Lives Matter movement, which is saying like, yes, Black lives matter, Black trans lives matter, Black women matter, Black gay rights matter, Black fat lives matter, Black autistic lives matter, and that's gonna, we're gonna actually hear from some members of our autistic community in the, what does this say?
Is it Rain Tree?
Does it say
Or Kind Tree.
Kind Tree.
Autism Rocks.
And that's a nonprofit, and we're going to get to hear from them.
And that takes place on the Oregon Country Fairgrounds, which is just a beautiful place. They also host Culture Jam, which is not going on this year, but we're hopeful for all of these workshops going on in camps next year. Additionally, we're going to hear from Carl Hammerschlag. Carl Hammerschlag is going to talk to us about celebrating weirdness and mind freedom, and basically being who you are and not being ashamed of it, and letting other people be who they are as well. So that's going to be a fun piece coming up.
We are also going to get to participate in the Hokey Pokey, which is just, good way to move our body.
Because that's what it's all about.
Put things in, take them out, shake it all about, as you say.
And speaking of youthful songs that are good for all ages, we have the younger generation helping us out with all sorts of things, politically correct and entertainment and otherwise. And the Macs are coming up, and they've been touring. They have, I think this is their third album coming out, and they're sort of like a punkadelic thing. So we have that, and then,
and last but never least, more frog jokes.
Always frogs. So thank you. Enjoy the rest, and keep chatting with us. We'd love to hear what else you have to say.